Thank you. Good morning. I've been gone the last couple of weeks. The first week I was in Chicago for my son's graduation, and then last week we had our chaplaincy training, which was a magical weekend. It was quite amazing. And next Sunday we're going to be having a public ceremony where we dedicate our chaplains to the community. We had a lot of fun. So, you know, we're almost into June, and we are 6 months into our program that we started last January, which was Let All the Dreamers Wake the Nation. And we began with the White Stone Ceremony, where we put our intentions down for the year, and then we went through different meditational processes to touch the dreamer, to allow the dreamer to come through us, so that we could begin to see what is wanting to come through us. And in many ways, sometimes the dreams that we have are not just limited to ourselves. The dreams that we have are bigger than we are. And so it's important that we step up and do what we can to manifest our dreams. And we've talked about many of the ways we sabotage ourselves with limiting beliefs and the different voices that tell us we're not good enough, or we're too old, or we're too young, or whatever, that they kind of go on and on. So now we're sort of at the 6-month place with the beginning of this program, and I don't know about you, but this is usually the point where the dream is kind of started to get off the ground and perhaps maybe even manifesting a little, and then maybe what you're finding at this point is it's more work than you thought it was, or perhaps it's taking more of your stamina, or maybe more of your money. Anybody having an experience like that? Anybody? So Maria Nemeth calls this trouble at the border. She wrote a book called The Energy of Money, and it's about the energy in your life, but also about the energy of money and how we use it. And one of the things that she is describing is that when we are pursuing our dreams, we begin to lay down a new foundation, if you will. And the truth is that when we're dreaming big, right, we are stretching ourselves beyond where we are currently. Otherwise, what would be the point in having a dream, right? I mean, when you have a dream for yourself, aren't you like, you're kind of a little bit different than you are right now, or maybe you're a lot different than you are right now. So when we hit the trouble at the border, what's happening is we have been dreaming in this metaphysical realm, in the non-physical realm. We've been dreaming and using our imagination and using inspiration and using meditation, and it's all so wonderful and it's all so beautiful and it's all so lovely. And then we have to cross over from the non-physical realm into the dense physical reality. Yeah? You know what that's like? That's like, okay, now you got to show up and you got to build the foundation. Maria Nemeth tells a story about how she worked at a hospital, but she really wanted to have her own therapy practice. So that was her dream. So she pursued it, and then she realized that, okay, she had to find her office, and she had to find clients, and she had to figure out all these details. And you know, when we have trouble at the border, we may say to ourselves, you know what, maybe I wasn't supposed to do this at all, actually. This is a lot harder than I thought it was. It's taking more time, it's taking more energy, it's taking more stamina. So you know what, maybe this dream was not such a good idea after all. And Linda Carney asked me in between first services, like, so how do you know, though, you know, when sometimes when things go wrong, that maybe you really are supposed to give it up and go do something else? And I think there's a difference between, sometimes we experience in life anti-synchronicity. You ever been there? It's like no matter what you do, it's wrong. You just show up and it's like, nope, not there. And when that happens, I think the handwriting is on the wall that, yep, I think we need to make some kind of a change. So I'm not talking about anti-synchronicity when everything goes absolutely kibbutz and wrong, but rather when things become a little bit difficult. And then we're sort of like, yeah, I don't know about this dream after all. I started hot yoga about a year ago, and it was challenging in the beginning, and it's become part of my spiritual practice. And what it does for me is it helps me release physical toxins as well as emotional toxins. It's a great meditation. It's a great way to focus. Well, I went to Chicago for my son's graduation, and I was gone for 9 days. Now, I did go to my other yoga center in Chicago, and I walked a lot, but I stayed away from hot yoga. So when I came home, I didn't really want to go back. You know, it's like in the morning, it's like, well, maybe I'll just sleep in. It's not really going to matter. Maybe I'm not meant to really do this. And then after a few days, I finally made myself go back. And I got to tell you, it was really hard. It was so difficult. My balance was off. My concentration was off. My strength had diminished. And then the next couple of days, I thought, well, you know, maybe hot yoga really isn't for me. Maybe I need to be doing something else. And yet I showed up again. And I will. I've only gone twice since I've been back, but I'll continue. What I'm talking about is those moments when we're in the physical realm, when we're manifesting our dream, and then all of a sudden things start to get a little bit difficult, right? It's like maybe you're changing the way you eat or your exercise, and you know, when we first start off, it's like, yeah, boy, I can do this. This is so easy. And then after a while, it's like, well, I don't know, you know. And Emily Cady, who wrote the book Lessons in Truth, called this process chemicalization. And what she means by chemicalization is that you're following your dream, you're developing a new consciousness or a new habit pattern, and so you feel like you take 2 steps forward and things are really happening. And then all of a sudden you notice that you're taking 3 steps back. And what happens is that the old consciousness meets the new consciousness, and there's like this stirring up process that happens. So perhaps you were dealing with a health challenge, yeah? And then you feel like you've got it under control, and then all of a sudden it shows its face again. Or perhaps you've been working with your finances, and your finances are working really well, and then you find out, oh gosh, no, it's not so good. Or the relationship, you fill in the blank. So this is not the time to give up. What Maria Nemeth says is that when we hit that wall, when we hit trouble at the border, that's great. Smile, that's great. The first service, everybody was like, oh, geez. When we have trouble at the border, when we're about to cross the divide, when we experience discomfort, that's what's supposed to happen. And it's supposed to happen because when we dream and when we send out, you know, this vision of what we want for our lives, when we're sending it out, we may not yet have the strength and the abilities and the knowledge that we need in order to manifest the dream. So of course it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable because we haven't fully developed those qualities within ourselves just yet. So we can either then give in to the limiting beliefs that start coming at us, like you shouldn't have done this, or start over, or maybe you need to come up with another dream totally. Maybe that was the wrong one. And the truth is, those are just thoughts. The Tibetan Book of the Dead compares some of our thoughts to a beehive. And you're sitting near a beehive and the bees are all over you, and you can choose to start chasing them and trying to get them off you. And what happens when we do that is they may come after and sting us, right? And is it not the same way with our thoughts? When you have thoughts that say, well, this is too hard and this is wrong and you're too old and you don't have enough money and you don't have enough time, they become like these bee thoughts that are running around, and we can choose to have these thoughts either sting us or just kind of let them buzz around our heads and release them and let them go.